Wait to see it go live. There's always that delay, so I'll make sure it's up. Yeah, you're probably good. Go ahead.
All
yeah,
right.
There it goes.
Okay. So this is the FamiLAB monthly membership meeting for November 19th. First of all, any attendees not speaking should mute their microphones now. And Matthew, please stop at the crosstalk since you're the only one here live. And then if everybody could sign in to l.familab.org/sign-in for tracking who's here today, that'd be great. Quick financial update. So we are down to 63 full paying members and 15 special cases. In the last 30 days, we had 4 cancellations and 1 new sign up. And then from a P&L perspective, we were negative 960 for the last month. So year to date, we're down 30,080. We did have some one-off costs with the gas tanks for the welding area. So we trued those up as well as part of that additional cost for last month. Anything to add on that, Adam?
Yeah, the the cost for Roberts, which is the gas, there's a couple costs in there. There's the previous year, there's this year, and that's just for the tanks, and then we had to have a swap for one of the tanks because it was empty. So that was a good amount. Normally we would spread that across like the yearly and not show it in the monthly, but for financial or accounting reasons, we're just showing it. We're just adding it into this month. But yeah, that was a good amount. It was at least, I think, somewhere between $600 and $700 with all of it. But it's a good point that it's a good thing to bring up, is that if you're doing things like welding, remember that the gas is a consumable. So we do need to make sure that we're giving a little bit extra if we're using it a good amount, because otherwise that cost just falls onto the organization, and that's where your membership dues are going. So the more stuff we pay for, the more we have to charge.
Yep. Perfect. And then general updates. Good news. AC in the FabLab is finally working. Every time I come in, I test it to make sure it's still working, and we've been having some challenges. It's still good as of today, so that's awesome. So we're back to standard operating procedure for the fabrication lab. Workshops, open houses, turnout has been good. I know this member meeting, not perhaps a good example, but we did have 3 people come by for a quick tour, and as possible, a new people today. So we're still seeing people trickle in for every event we have. So the more that we can have, the better. And then if anyone who's on a special case, we especially would like them to participate more and help cover some of that workload. And if you want to help buy some stuff for the lab, we do have the Amazon wish list, still keeping it up there. And additionally, if there's something you notice that the lab needs that you aren't in a position to grab right now, shoot a note to the board and we can get it on there as well and see if somebody else wants to supply that. Looking at Maker Faire, it's less than 365 days away. So we got through a very successful one. I know this week was great. We had much more volunteers helping at the booth, as well as a good chance for everyone to network and meet people. I expect to see the fruits of that work play out over the next couple of months, as well as people think about the stuff they saw there and want to start making stuff as well. And then definitely not too early to start thinking about what you want to make for next year. Hopefully those that could attend saw some cool ideas, but it's fun. And it's cool. If you make something cool, people want to talk to you. Adam's clock was a hit. It was the bell of the ball, as they say. So
yeah, I do want to jump in real quick. I do want to reiterate thank you again. I know I thanked everybody in the in Slack, but yeah, thank you again to everybody that helped out, because it was a tremendous help. Brian and I and a few stragglers here and there pushed through last year, and this year it was a lot easier. Justin and I had more time to walk around and network, which might help us out in sponsorships later. So, I mean, and overall growth. So, yes, thank you again to everybody that helped out.
Moving on to signage. We are still working with Steve M on the main sign above the door. We have been in communication with him again. It's been on the list for a few months now, but that is a work in progress. And our contest is still live. We need to send an announcement out and reinvigorate that probably. Knowing the time of the year, we might wait on that till the first of the year, but that is something that we still want to do and decorate the windows and make it look more approachable. So
Can I add a suggestion just for the
yeah,
board to consider with the signage? I know this is a group community member thing, but with kind of how things turned out last time and where there was a lot of discussion about the windows, maybe the board and the guy that's making the sign, why don't you guys just decide on the design? Because it felt like there were too many cooks in the kitchen and there was a lot of fighting and bickering. I trust you guys. If you just want to do Times New Roman font, I'll trust that it's gonna work.
well,
That's just a personal.
no, appreciate that. For the overart design above the door, the big one, we're kind of going that way for the most part. We already have a plan in place. He's working on a mock-up so we can show the landlord to get approval. And we're going that way. This one's more for just the window decor. It's not a priority to help find the place. It's more to try to show off who we are and what the community wants. So we kind of want to leave it there. However, if it does go sideways, we also don't need them. This one's not as of a priority. So we thought it'd be something fun, and hopefully we can bring it back to be fun again.
Sounds good.
Agree, Adam? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The Windows was supposed to be more of a contest for everybody. There were some yeah, bad interactions, I guess I'll say, when people were sharing the content. Just understand, if you're putting anything into Slack, it's going to get criticized in one way or the other, whether it's good criticism, bad criticism, or just shitty criticism. It's going to happen. So don't worry about that. Just understand that, like, you're trying. That's all that really matters. So yeah, as for the windows we still want to keep it open to the membership, but if it continues to go that route, we will just close that out and board will make a decision and have stuff made. But we wanted to make it fun. The sign, like Justin said, that one's already decided. Once he gives us a mock, we're sending over to the landlord, and once it's approved, we're building it. It's not, that one's more of just kind of like probably just the name and logo. So it's not, that one's not as involved, I guess. So we don't really need all membership interaction with that one.
Moving on to outreach, we will continue to bring this home. While we had good interactions at Maker Faire, we also had a net loss for the last 30 days. I think that's going to flip in the next 30 days with hopefully, but at the end of the day, we're at the end of the year push, but we need outreach. It's still a monthly meeting. We need to continue to drive membership up. As we just saw, net, we're still at a slight loss every month. There's always unexpected charges that show up. So we need to grow our membership a little bit. And then I was hoping for a slightly bigger contingent to have this conversation, but we do want to do a Saturday push to get to the apartment complexes. We have a list, just drop off flyers or post whatever we can. Um, I wanted to pick something and put it on the calendar this week, ideally. So we either do it so for those of us that are here, a weekend in December, or do we want to push it to January for, I think New Year's resolution time is a great time to make sure we're in front of people. As they're starting to think about what they're doing, just an idea. But
Yeah, things are gonna get lost in the holiday. I would say mid-January. Let's put it on the calendar for that, and then that also gives us time to blast it out and reminders and whatnot on Slack. So that way we can hopefully get some interaction. So yeah, let's just get it on the calendar and get it spun up in mid-January.
perfect.
To add to that real quick, if we want to do some New Year big, like extra big open house, not necessarily as big as the grand reopening, like at the end of January, having those flyers out by mid January, we can have a nice big intentional open house. Like, hey, new year, new you, new hobbies, as a potential idea to get those flyers out, get those people in.
Love it. We're on board. So yeah, small takeaway for that. It's a small tweak on the flyer, maybe, but maybe not even. We can just put it on the flyer and update our website on that. So we'll talk about that, but I think it's a great idea, Kristen. Cool. And then board members. We are still looking for additional board members. We were just talking about that, me and Adam, earlier. We have the bare minimum. We have the three of us that are in town, plus Johan, who's had to move away. But should anything change for any of us, that starts to put us at risk again from a board perspective. So We'd like to have some redundancy and also more voices on the board. So if anyone wants to have a conversation about that, just reach out to us. And then membership dues, as we've been saying, with our continued increased costs, we need to raise dues in January 25. All legacy dues will increase to the $75. Social media, again, continue to post photos and descriptions, and I made this Slack for us to share on our social medias. And with that, we're to open discussion. Anybody that's here want to talk about anything?
Adam wants to talk about something.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in real quick on the board member thing. If you don't know what the board does, or is responsible for, get with one of us, either myself, Justin, or Matthew, and we can discuss it with you. I think the board has gotten a bad rep in the last few years because we've been overstretching ourselves. We're doing board and operations. The key is once we get a good operations team in place, the board has got a lot less to do, a lot less on their plate. I know in the past it was like it was something like if you want to hate FamiLAB, join the board or something. I don't know. It was something silly like that. And it's not necessarily true. Yes, you can get burned out if you do too much, but in all honesty, as long as it's run good previous years, and everything is up to date and ready to go, and well organized and well noted, which is something we've been working on a lot this past year. Um, that's all in place already for you. There's not a whole lot to do other than the operation side. So that the reason I push so hard for the operation side is so that we can get people more into board and wanting to do it, and it being an actual fun thing to do, because it's not meant to burn you out. It's just meant to help be, I guess, fiscally responsible and legally responsible for the lab. And when I say that, I don't mean your personal finances or your your personal legal terms. It's got its own coverage in that sense. But anyway, long story long, if you want to learn about the lab, or I mean about the board, just let us know. We can sit down, discuss it with you, and we can find a good spot for you. Technically, we still have open spots because we wanted to be at 7. So even if you're interested now, you don't have to wait until the next year's voting. In fact, we technically wouldn't even vote this next year, considering all the members are on 2 years. So unless somebody wants to join, we're not going to vote again. So basically, we can add a member at any point to the board and assign them a title. So if you're interested, let us know. We can find a spot for you, find something for you where you fit, and just get you started on board, because any help would be much appreciated. But again, it's not as bad as it's been made out to be in the past. It's really not.
The more people helping, the less work there is for any individual to do. So
Yes, exactly.
Good reminder. Great. And with that, upcoming and new events, mostly just upcoming. Woodworking Learn With Me, not one in November. It's the holidays. I will be having one on December 11th. And if anybody's listening, our plan is to make a gift box for a wine bottle. So you could put a bottle of wine and give to somebody for one of those holiday parties you're going to go to. You got the art hangout on December 6th, 3D print hangout on December 2nd, so coming Monday. There's Silver Stitch-ins every Wednesday night. Our usual run of other meetings, outreach, social nights, board meetings, as well on the agenda. One thing I wanted to plug now, and I'll bring it up again in the next meeting, but January, it's on the calendar. Dates slightly subject to change, but it will be in January for a 4-week run of Fusion 360 course. I'm going to follow one online, and I'll just be doing it in the room here for 4 weeks in a row, a couple hours at a time, to just cover the basics of Fusion 360. I know it's something that some people asked. I know I have, so I want to make sure everybody knows about it. So consecutive course.
So that is not on here.
It's not on here because it'll be outside. It's like another month out, but it is on the calendar already. Just with work travel, that might need to change one day. That's all.
Yes, Adam, I believe you had your hand up first.
So I forgot when I made this, which is funny because I made it, like I made the, anyway, Saturday I'm doing a FamiLAB laser 101. I completely forgot to add it to this when I created the agenda, but yeah, it's a FamiLAB laser 101. It's going to be 4 hours. It's going to be just after the open house. Well, I think an hour after the open house. I don't remember. But just check the calendar for that. If you're going to attend, make sure you RSVP on the Eventbrite because I need to know, I want to know how many people are coming before I do it because I'm trying to set up for a specific thing. And if nobody shows up, I'm just not going to do it. Or nobody RSVPs, I'm not going to do it. So please, please, please make sure you RSVP if you want to do that. I had another thing, but I have now forgotten what it was. Oh, the Fusion 360 thing Justin was talking about. If you are interested in doing things like 3D things on the CNC, the wood CNC, if you're interested in doing 3D kind of effects on that, you really want to look into it would be good if you followed this Fusion 360 course because it will help you in the future when we get to that, because I kind of want to do a class on that later when I get more familiar with it, because you're going to be using Fusion to set up the tool paths. So even if you're not necessarily into really design or anything, it's probably still a good idea to join the Fusion 360 meet just so that we can get that done, or so you can get started on it.
Do we have a date yet for the Fusion class?
It is, Aaron, it is on the calendar right now. Slightly subject to change. I think I ran a 4-week run of Saturdays. I do have a cousin having a baby and a work travel that needs to be defined, so there might be a push out of that a little bit. But right now, as a plan and plan to stick to it, I'll know more in 2 weeks for sure.
Okay, Adam, is that everything you had to say? All right, thank you. Kristen?
Question for Adam about the epilogue class this Saturday. I can't stay for the full 4 hours, but I'll sign up because I can come for the first 2 hours. But if I'm the only one there, do you still want to cancel, or can we maybe do a mini course for those 2 hours?
No, we can still do a mini course. That's fine.
All right, cool. I'll sign up, but when I sign up, just keep in mind I can only be there the first 2 hours, so it's kind of like half sign up.
Didn't you run cookies, like a lot of cookies on that epilogue?
Well, yeah, I feel like I know the beginner basic, but there's still so much I'd love to learn.
Okay, you'll have to tell me what areas you want to learn just so we can, because I was really just going to go over the basic stuff, but I was going to go over the rotary tool as well. So
Oh,
if it's
that's
just
what I
you,
wanna
maybe
do.
we'll just touch on the rotary tool or something like that.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Awesome. And then, hey, Aaron, if there's a specific time, like look at the calendar and let me know if there's something that works better for you. Right now, you're the first person to talk to me about it, but it's also the first time I shared it, and I picked a time that I know I can make. So there's some flexibility there as well. And it's also going to be, it's 4 parts in a row, so you might skip, if depending on your familiarity, you might want to make the beginning at least, or vice versa. Cool. Other than that, we have no one here to introduce, and we had a couple new members that came by last week that aren't here today to show off, so hopefully you have a chance to meet them. I think that is it today. Anyone else around the room before we call it done? Kristen.
So for the art hangout, the first Friday in December, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a holiday theme and bring in or make ornaments that if people want to paint, um, anybody can still bring their own projects, but if you want to paint an ornament or something, those will be available. Invite friends, don't worry about any fee or anything like that. If they want to give a donation and they're not members, that's always cool, but just to get people in the door, let them know we're going to be painting probably just wood disc ornaments, but we're going to be painting ornaments that Friday. Invite people.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. Well, with that, we'll call this meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And are we going to stop the stream?
Yeah.